Oliver Twist, Chapter 15. Captured. Oliver strolled happily down the street. He said hello to everyone he passed. He stopped to sniff flowers and look in store windows. It's such a lovely day, Oliver thought to himself. It was hard to believe that he left the workhouse a few months before. As Oliver walked through the busy marketplace, he heard someone call his name. What if it isn't Oliver? It took the boy several seconds to recognize Nancy. He did not expect to see her in that part of the city. She crossed the street to give him a hug. "It's so good to see you," she exclaimed. "Wherever have you been?" Oliver was glad to see Nancy too. She had always been so kind to him. "What are you doing here?" he asked. "It's funny seeing you in this neighborhood." Nancy looked over her shoulder. She signaled to someone across the street. She turned back to Oliver with a grin, but she did not look happy. Oliver wondered if anything was wrong. "I was just passing by and happened to see you," she said. "I sometimes do business in this part of town, you know." Nancy took Oliver's hand. "Why don't we stop for a cup of tea and catch up? I'd love to hear your news." "I'm sorry, Nancy," Oliver said. "I can't do that right now. I have to run an errand for Mr. Brownlow." The young boy sounded very serious. "I won't keep you long," Nancy laughed nervously. She looked over her shoulder again. "Why don't we walk together for a while then?" She held Oliver's hand and led him across the street. Oliver started to tell Nancy all about Mr. Brownlow. He described the beautiful house and his warm bed. Nancy listened quietly. Oliver did not notice how pale she was or that her hands trembled. "I know a shortcut," said Nancy. She led him down an alleyway. Bill Sikes was standing in the shadows waiting for them. Bill grabbed Oliver. He put his hand over the boy's mouth so Oliver could not scream. Oliver struggled to free himself, but the man was far too strong. A wagon was waiting for them. Bill got in the back with Oliver and hid beneath some blankets. Nancy sat up front with Dodger. Bill gave the signal and Dodger urged the horses to move. The wagon made its way back to Fagin's place with Bullseye's running behind. Oliver had no idea what might happen to him. He worried that he might be hurt. He worried that he would get in trouble with the police. Most of all, though, he worried that Mr. Brownlow might think he ran off with the money. Oliver's eyes teared up at the thought of disappointing Mr. Brownlow.